Today I'm taking a look at a really interesting keyboard from DOID. It's called the Gamer64. And to fit the interesting design of this keyboard, Goblin Techkeys has sent over some custom keycaps that we made together that I think will suit this keyboard nicely. And as for the switches, I'll be using the KTT Mint, which are one of my favorite linear switches. But first, let's check out the DOID Gamer64. It comes in this rather large box, and included inside is some accessories, which includes a pretty decent black Type A to Type C cable, a yellow plastic 2-in-1 switch and keycap puller, and the keyboard packed nicely here. The keyboard does feel quite heavy when taking it out, and I did weigh it on my scale here. You can't really see it in the video, but it comes out to around 1.3 kgs. And if you still can't tell, the Gamer64 here is designed to look like a Nintendo Switch with these knobs and joysticks on the sides. And it also has QMK VIA support. So on the left side or the blue side, you get the joystick here, which controls your cursor and the function layer of the keyboard, 4 small buttons here which control the RGB, and a small knob that controls your scroll up and scroll down. On the right side or the red side, you get a small OLED screen here that shows which mode the keyboard is in, a big knob that controls the forward and backwards play of video and also the play and pause function, and a small knob that controls volume and mute. This is what the side profile of the keyboard looks like, and you can see the CNC aluminum top and the acrylic bottom housing. There's a slight increase from the bottom to the top, and it's the same on both sides. From the front, it looks pretty clean with no logos whatsoever, and it's the same with the back of the keyboard. You just get the Type-C connection port on the top left. The bottom is a whole piece of CNC cut frosted acrylic, and it looks really nice. It has the DOID logo in the middle here, and on the sides are 4 rubber feet with the 14 screws holding this whole keyboard together. So to check out what's inside, I'm going to be removing all of those screws first. They are different sizes, so you do have to remember where they go. With the screws on the bottom all out, the top pieces here can be removed one by one. And the top pieces here are all CNC aluminum, and they do look great and they feel really solid in hand. The finish on the CNC aluminum here is clean, and the cutouts are also precise as well. It's the same for these black pieces here, and they do have the cutouts for the gaskets on the keyboard. For the 2 side pieces here and the main PCB, there's more screws holding it in place, 4 on the left and right side to be exact. And it was pretty easy to remove these screws, but one screw on the right side was covered by the OLED screen, so I did have to remove it carefully. With that removed, these 3 things can be lifted up and out of the case, and the cables can now be unplugged. The left and right side do connect through this ribbon cable, so remember to be careful when removing these. They might break if you're not too careful. And there's also an extra piece of cable connecting the PCB to the daughter board. So with the sides now out, it's time to unscrew the plate from the PCB. The plate included here is a polycarbonate plate, and it is quite flexible as you can see. You also get a pre-cut Poron plate from here with an extra small piece for the spacebar. And this is the 5-pin hot swap south-facing RGB PCB, and you can see that the screw-in steps are already installed here and provided by DOID. And from the sides, you can see that the gaskets do connect through the PCB like this. I'm not so sure what hot swap sockets are used here, but they do work great. And you can also see from the back here that these are where the ribbon connectors connect to. Besides that, at the bottom of the case, there's also this piece of Poron foam included to help with sound dampening. And as for the bottom part itself, it does look really great in this frosted acrylic. And it has small foam pieces here for the gasket mount of the keyboard, and this is basically where the PCB will sit. So that was basically everything included. Now let's build it. As usual, I'm starting off with the stabilizers here. The screw-in steps provided here are already looped, and they seem to be quite decent, so I will be using them, but they were a little bit rattly out of the box, so I'm going to be taking them out and modding them a bit. I realized that the feet here were not clipped, so I did clip them off so they will not wobble, and I looped the wires here with some Permatex to remove all of the rattle. With the steps modded and done, I then screwed them back into place and installed the platform on top. Almost forgotten this small piece for the spacebar. After that, the polycarbonate plate goes on top and the whole thing is screwed together onto the PCB. After that, the case foam slots in like this on the bottom of the PCB. And the ribbon cables can be now connected back to the side pieces carefully. And of course, this little cable connecting the PCB to the daughter board as well. With everything now connected, the whole piece can be lifted and placed into the case. The screws on the sides go in, 4 on each side. The top pieces can now slot into place and all of the 14 screws can be screwed in from the bottom. And with all of that done, now the keyboard is basically ready and it's time to install the switches. So these are the KTT Mint Switches and these are one of my favorite budget switches. They are a linear type switch and they have a palm stem in the middle, a polycarbonate top housing and a nylon bottom housing. It has an actuation force of 45 grams and it bottoms out at 53 grams. And it does come with 4mm of total travel with a 15mm spring inside. I have already looped mine with some Kratox 205 grade 0 and with them looped they sound so nice, so stay tuned for the typing sound test if you want to hear them. Now the switches are in and I just realized I haven't shown the RGB on the keyboard yet, so this is how it looks like and it does look pretty good even with the switches in. And now it's time for the exciting part. These are the keycaps that I'm going to be using for this build and they are sent over by Goblin Techkeys. So Goblin Techkeys specializes in making 5-sided custom die-sub keycaps. And I wanted keycaps that will make it seem that I was playing a game on this keyboard, so we customized this Super Mario keycap set together. And I think it looks great. As you can see, the 5-sided die sub here looks really nice. You can see that the colors and images do extend to all of the sides. Plus the graphics here also look sharp as well. And as for the PBT used here, it does feel pretty great in hand and the thickness is pretty good at around 1.8mm. Overall, I'm happy with how these keycaps turned out, so if you want to make some awesome custom keycaps, definitely check out Goblin Techkeys. There will be a link down below. Now let's install the keycaps. So this is what the final build looks like and I love how it turned out. It does feel like I'm playing Super Mario on this keyboard, but with all of that said, this is how the keyboard sounds. So, final thoughts on the DOIO Gamer64. It's a really interesting keyboard and it does look great and it also functions as well. All of the knobs and joysticks on the side actually work, and it also supports QMKVIA, so you can customize it more down the line. Besides that, it does sound pretty good too. But with it having an acrylic bottom, there's not much talk here, but more of a clean and muted sound profile. To be honest, I did buy this keyboard because of the looks, but I'm not disappointed at all. So if you're interested in anything in this video, links will be provided below, and I want to say a special thank you to Goblin Techkeys as well. Remember to check them out and get your customized keycaps now. And that wraps it up for this build video, guys. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Even more keyboard content and interesting stuff coming very soon. And as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye, guys.